Oh my God! Now we're live. So, hello everyone. It's John Hand here again with my partner in crime, Mike, and we're back in another Pulsing Cinema Live, the sequel, Pulsing Cinema Live 2.
Yeah,
I didn't expect to do a live show, but here we are, and live we are, indeed.
yeah. Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, Canon Films. Oh, Jesus. What's been going on, Mike? What recently? What have you seen? Anything interesting? Interesting films?
Just been like I think we briefly talked about last time. Just watching some Columbo episodes, and I've
Oh
never
yeah.
seen the series prior to starting it on Netflix. So I've been enjoying watching some of the great actors from the '70s playing these villainous roles, like Robert Culp and Leonard Nimoy and Jack Cassidy, and just really fun TV. They're like mini movies, actually.
Yeah, I know, our friend Chip from the Nightmare Theater. He was really always into Columbo. That's one of his heroes. Peter Falk, Columbo, and
Hmm.
I agree with you. They're like little mini movies. They're so great. Um, yeah, I mean,
I did I did
no, I'm sorry.
I
Go
did
ahead.
see on Chip's Facebook page that he was a big fan of Columbo. So yeah, good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like in Frankenstein's Bloody Nightmare, the film I did where he was in it, he's pretty much like playing Columbo. He wanted to do like Columbo, so I said do Columbo.
Cool.
So, you know. Well, the only thing I've been watching recently is, and I interrupted it to do the Real Hoovians show yesterday. I was watching Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man! I don't I don't I think it's an okay film,
Mm.
It's okay.
Nah,
It's
it's a great
okay.
film. It's great. It
It's a
really is.
great film. People say it, man, it's a great film. I don't know. It's just kind of silly to me. It's kind
Well, I
of
mean,
all
you can still look at the first Halloween if you want and say, oh, well, that's silly. But I mean, I think
uh,
they're both on. They're both equally as good to me.
uh,
Well, I
uh,
know. I'm saying one can make a case.
I mean, to me, the first Halloween is just up there. It grows in stature, and Halloween 2 is just very workmanlike. It's obviously made a few years afterwards, and it's just not as special, I think. There's just something missing in the equation.
It operates for me on two levels. One's nostalgic. I remember watching that a lot on
Oh, yeah.
television in Atlanta around Halloween time, obviously, about every year. And I have more nostalgic memories for Halloween 2, if I probably had to think about it, than I do Halloween 1. Or just as much. Yeah, I would say at least just as much. But Halloween 2, I tend to go back and watch that more than the first Halloween, actually. And
Really?
I
No, I have the reverse. I watch the first one and ignore everything else.
and I love Halloween, but I consider like really I consider Halloween 2 like a continuation of the first film.
Well,
You
yeah.
know, I mean
Yeah,
like
it
like
obviously is.
I
Yeah.
mean where it's like the same movie basically is what I'm saying.
The same
So
night, or of the night he came home.
yeah, and I love that. But then again, I'm the kind of guy I love Halloween 3, and a lot of people shit on that. So I
No,
mean,
Halloween 3 is just great. But I mean, there is a big, and I always hate the fact that pretty much in every movie, Michael Myers is played by someone else, and they look, they're slightly different, and, they move slightly different. In this case, it was Dick Warlock in Halloween 2, and he's a solid actor, and he's like the Terminator. He's just this robot zombie Michael Myers, and he's just slow and steady and wins the day. He's not as cool as Nick Castle in the original film, or Tony Moran.
I liked the setting of Halloween 2. I've got a lot of respect for Halloween 2. I think it's not getting the credit it deserves
Oh
from
yeah,
either.
I'm in a setting, the hospital. When I was growing up, I'd watch Halloween 2 a lot, and I was like, that's so unrealistic that a hospital be that empty and be that scary. But actually, there was an incident where I got hit by a car, and they took me to a hospital. This was in the middle of the week, and and my knee was busted up. I couldn't walk, and this orderly puts me in a room and it's like, okay, the doctor's going to come back in a couple hours. He never shows up. They just leave me in the room. I'm there for hours by myself. It's like they forgot about me. And I actually opened that door and hopped out of that hospital on my own. And and it was like scary. The hospital was like empty. It was like Halloween 2, Mike. It was really kind of freaky. It was, yeah. I mean, so like yes, hospitals, especially little small town hospitals, you can absolutely become isolated. It's a great setting. I don't. Other movies shot in horror movies in hospital. There's Hospital Massacre, which is a silly piece of direct, which is ridiculous and funny, and with Barbie Benton.
But Halloween 3 takes place in.
Exactly, it begins in the hospital. Yeah, Chalice and Dick Warlock was a tiny guy though. He seemed like he was smaller than Nick Castle, or it seems like he's small. And then what the fuck is going on with Michael Myers? Like he has a perm in the film, the mask, It was like in the original Halloween, the mask was all like the hair was like this. Hair was all crazy, And then in Halloween 2, the hair is all, But apparently, I was watching a Q&A with Nick Castle, and like one of the original masks, because they couldn't find the mask, and they was like Nick Castle was like they went to him and was like, "Do you have one of the original masks?" And he loaned them one of the original masks from the first movie, and he never got it back. I don't know. What do you think about the mask and the look of Michael Myers?
Well, certainly the first 2 films are the best.
But I mean, the look of Michael Myers from 1 to 2. I mean, it's pretty consistent, but still, there's difference.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to think, because I recently have acquired the Trick or Treat mask from Halloween 2, the Trick or Treat Studios, and they did a very, I would say that's the best commercialized Michael Myers mask that someone can purchase. That's authentic to the look of the film. Would be the they call it's Trick or Treat Studios. They're the ones that put it out, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. They have 2 different versions. One's got like the regular mask, and then there's the one with the eyes shot out with the blood coming down from the sockets.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean the first 2 masks to me like pretty much are interchangeable. I mean, as far as I recall off the top of my head, they were pretty cool.
Probably right. Probably just overthinking things.
But I mean, Halloween 2, I remember the big thing that was interesting was like when you saw it on television, they had like different scenes. Like they had, yeah, that's the one right there I was talking about.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Uh-oh. In Halloween.
Oh, there he is.
Michael Myers.
Yeah. I love all the people that are like, hey, did you know that was a William Shatner Captain Kirk mask that they used? No shit, really?
It's like, man, what if? But I mean, the guy Tommy Lee Wallace, who he demoed a lot of other masks to John Carpenter. Like there was like a clown mask, right? It's a scary clown.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then there was something else, and then there was the William Shatner. I mean, imagine if it had been a clown, I don't know. There's something about the shape, the idea of this formless, shapeless, it's just like it has a humanoid, but it has no features. Somehow.
I think that's what Carpenter was going for.
Yeah.
Like I believe I've heard that in an interview or read it in an interview or something, but that they chose that because, like you said, I mean, Michael Myers, like, he's not so much a character as he is like a force of
nature,
evil, like force of nature, force of evil.
Yes.
So he's like he's got the facade of like a humanoid, but he's like a walking embodiment of like this force of nature.
So
and that makes sense. That, I mean, instead of just being a clown, something that's just kind of creepy. It's creepy not because it's a clown, for example, but he's creepy because it syncs up with what he's supposed to be.
Well, yeah, but the clown could work, because, I mean, you think about the kid Michael Myers. That kind of had a clown thing.
Yeah, but I don't really lean towards the clown aspect. I think that the Michael Myers thing, like, he doesn't talk. I'm not saying the clown wouldn't be creepy, but I'm saying that's what makes Michael Myers so iconic is it's just like you said, it's this just shape. It's it's recognizable to us where we can put a value on it as being a humanoid, but it's a humanoid that you can't communicate with it. It doesn't speak to you. It just comes at you, relentlessly to kill
Yeah.
you.
And the thing I loved about the first film is that
Got
Michael
the
Myers.
blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Well, yeah, I was just going to mention the eyes. Is the eye holes are all black. You don't really see his eyes in the first film, but you see his eyes all the time in the second film, and that really was another thing. It's like, man,
I think maybe that's because of the big spoiler in the film where they're tying it in where Laurie Strode and Michael Myers are brother and sister, so they're trying to give him more of a human. They're leaning, to give you that like human brother sister component going on.
And also the cat's out of the bag. You can't keep Michael Myers in the shadows. He comes out. You see a hell of a lot more of him in 2.
I always like that one shot of him when she runs to the basement, like the machinery room.
Yeah.
And then she runs towards like the elevator down there, the service elevator, and they have that one shot where it's like looking up the steps, and Michael Myers is just like lumbering down the steps with
that's classic.
With the scalpel.
Yeah. But then, I mean, compare and contrast that to the first film when there's also the scene where whoever was wearing the mask at that point, Nick Castle or Tommy Lee Wallace, was going down the stairs, and he's going down fast. But I mean, it makes sense in a way that Michael Myers in Part 2 was a lot slower because he's been shot fucking 9 times by Loomis. So he's kind of like mechanical, He's slowing down.
Was that the boogeyman?
Yes, or maybe he's been doing speed all night, or some kind of drug, keeping him alive, keeping him up and going, But
he was very steampunk in Halloween 2.
What I was reading about Halloween 1 is that for the most part it was Nick Castle, but then the scene in the with Strode, with Nancy Laurie Strode, sorry, what the hell is going on? In the closet where he gets the coat hanger, that was Tommy Lee Wallace. That was a pickup shot. And then of course Tony Moran, who was billed as Michael Myers. I didn't know that he was the brother of Chachi or Joni.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
Another Moran.
What was her first name?
What was her first name? I don't know. What was that?
Like Tracy Moran or something, or? I'm thinking of Tracy Morgan. Sorry. Similar name, sort of thing.
Aaron Moran.
Yes.
Moran. Yeah.
He was Toby Moran was just at a convention a little over a year ago down in the area, down here on the Gulf Coast.
Oh, really? He didn't show up at Pensacon, though, right? I don't think so.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh, that was it? He was at Pensacon?
Yeah, that's the one. I guess I couldn't believe it.
Down at Pensacon. It's where it's happening.
Yeah, they had Kane Hodder. I met and talked with him, and what's his name?
Michael Berryman?
Yeah, well, he was at the Pensacola Paracon, which was before that. And then they had Ari Lehman, First Jason.
First Jason. Yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff down here with renovating the barbecue shop. Yeah, Bilbo's.
Which was the place you and I went to.
Yeah. Making it an attraction with some, places where you can stay and indulge, live music venues where I guess you can play First Jason.
And we went to the, as one of your earlier Pulse Incentives here that I saw in your video list, we went to the film location on Quick Hill Road for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and also, what was the cemetery?
The Stone Hill Cemetery, I think. Yes. So. Yeah, I got to go back to Stone Hill and do some more videos because I went back to Quick Hill Road a couple months ago, and it was real cold as hell. And I just did like a really high quality, high bit rate video, 60 frames per second, really good, okay quality. I want to do the same thing at Stone Hill and and the barbecue shack. I don't know if they're starting construction with that barbecue shack or what, if they're getting the money together or what's happening.
Yeah, it was sad to see how like the modern world's just kind of like moving in on Quick Hill Road, and it was even in worse shape than when I was there like a little over a year ago when you
Yeah,
and I went there to see it in your video that you had just done. But
yeah,
and the cemetery looks pretty much the same from what
yeah.
I
The cemetery looks the
gather.
same. Yeah.
And we went to Bilbo's. It was locked up, but they hadn't begun renovating that or carting off any of that stuff. So I mean, I'm sure it's going to be looking completely different too.
Well, who knows if they can get the money to do that? Everybody's, every few years somebody does something with that barbecue place. It was open when I was there in like 2005. So it's way out. The problem with that barbecue place is way out in the middle of nowhere. So it's difficult to get anybody there, get business there. But it is very close to the airport. So that is kind of nice that you can make it a kind of a destination. Come into Austin, go to the place.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to drive by and be there at the location and walk around. I mean, it really was fun. But I
Yeah.
don't know if it really warrants like a big hoopla around it, like spending the night there and having like making a big saloon out of it and all that kind of stuff. Because I mean, it'd be well maybe making it a bar, like I could kind of see that, but
The
as far
thing
as
is,
like making a big
you gotta drive like an hour outside of Austin.
yeah, and it's like just it just doesn't look like it would accommodate a lot of people. It's like a place to have like a lot of people staying there, like a like a mini
Well,
resort or
I
something.
imagine like a Bates Motel thing behind it, like a strip of, of rooms, and something
Yeah,
creepy.
but
Some
it's
creepy.
like yeah, it's just so small too. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Well, they're gonna have to build, obviously.
well, but I meant like it would make more sense like if they still had the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre house on Quick Hill Road, if they did something on the property there with little like villas that you could stay in or something. That would make more sense to me because it's back off the road and it's kind of up on the hill where it's kind of in its own little area in the
Yeah.
corner there, and it just seems like there's more prominence of that within the film than it is the gas station. Gas station to me is like really just not that big a thing.
Yeah, it's just one scene and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's fun being there. Don't get me wrong. I mean it really is cool going there and
Oh,
like
it is
and,
definitely.
and but I mean like as far as I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. It's like it would be like I'm trying to think of something in Halloween. It would be like the Michael Myers house, having a place where you could stay like next door, like some units next to it or something, compared to like maybe where like they shot where God, I'm trying to think of what would I mean like where they shot like where Billy went to school, when Michael Myers came out and he ran into him and yeah, just some. It was more of a minor sort of scene in the film overall, whereas the house is like the main. That's like kind of
Yeah.
like the main location of the whole film.
Yeah, that would be
So
so cool if they made like one of those houses, like a bed and breakfast, where you could like stay at the Halloween house or some shit. That would be so cool. That's like the Lizzie Borden house, where Lizzie Borden killed or whatever
allegedly, yeah,
allegedly some Lizzie Borden and her family. You can stay in the house now. They've made it into a whole bed and breakfast, and the ghost of Lizzie Borden
yeah.
stays there. And
Oh yeah, I'm sure. What a surprise! The ghost is there too,
yeah,
right?
it serves you dinner or breakfast. Wake up and ghostly
Yeah.
spectral things occur. Uh,
Actually, if they did something, like to me, it makes more sense if they would have taken where they shot Friday the 13th at that lake, and they really like reopened the camp, had it where you could like go out there, not just like
stay for a weekend, like a weekend
yeah,
getaway, man.
yeah, like that makes more sense to me because it's more iconic. There's more involvement with everything going on out there. It's not just like this little Bilbo's gas station. It's like the whole, you got the lake, you got the dock, you got all the cabins. It's all very, uh, like it pretty much unchanged from what I understand
Yeah,
from when they shot the film for the most part. And I know it's out kind of in a secluded area as well.
that would be cool if you did that and like kind of weekend have like a theme where like there's a real Jason stalking you in the woods. So you gotta like
Yeah. Well,
play
they
like
could pay. They could pay like Ari Lehman to go out there and dress up like Jason again.
Well, have him like jump out of the fucking lake,
Yeah, you could see him for like 20 seconds, just like in the movie, where he
just like like the Jaws ride at Universal, where you have the Jaws come.
Yeah.
You're like,
they'll pop Ari Lehman out, and
just pop him out.
Yeah, they'll give him time to plug his hot sauce. He's got like Jason hot sauce or something now, whatever the gimmick is. And then they got the what is it, the headshot zombie from Dawn of the Dead, whoever that clown is. He's got like bottled water.
I don't know the clown. I don't know, man. He showed up 2 minutes. But I mean, people loved on. Like you just got a brick from J.C. Penney. No, not that room.
Oh yeah, man, I love that. I got my my official Monroeville Mall, Monroeville Zombies, like my brick that actually was in J.C. Penney. But when they tore it down, I think it was in like 2011. They actually tore down the old Pennies where they shot Dawn of the Dead, and I've actually got a screen scene brick, a full brick, not cracked. It's perfect condition, and it's like I get to go to bed at night, and I've got like on the shelf next to me a piece of Dawn of the Dead film history. It's like my favorite movie, Dawn of the Dead. So I get to go to bed with that. It's like my little security blanket. And it's just kind of cool. I mean, there are a few times I'll walk by it and I'll just look at it and I'll be like, that's really cool. Like I've loved this movie. I'm 40 years old. I've loved this movie for pretty much like 30 years of it, I'd say. And it's cool it's like having a piece of Rick's bar from Casablanca, from the original bar. It's like it's a piece of cinema history to me. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've managed to get some souvenirs from some of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre locations, and
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
they've happened to find their way into our possession. And
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. I would like to go. Always wanted to go to where Carpenter shot The Fog, that town up in Northern California. Yes.
Wait.
And they shot like Halloween 3 up in that area, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and The Birds, like on that coast there. Well, I mean, on the West Coast, of course, but it's within that little area. And I think in Medina, if I'm not mistaken, Salem's Lot was shot there. And then a little bit south of there is where Dead and Buried was shot. So these are all like late 70s.
Mendocino, yeah.
Mendocino, I'm sorry, what did I say, Medina? Yeah, it's Mendocino, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's an area that can look kind of like the East Coast, like in the Maine area. It has that kind of feel, but it's on the West Coast, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to do that, and for some reason this just reminds me. For the longest time, I had no idea where Psycho. Obviously, like early in the film, like Janet Leigh's in California.
Yeah.
But they allude to her driving out of town. I never knew where Psycho was supposed to take place geographically. Like, I mean, I knew it was on the West Coast, but I didn't know like what state, or I didn't know where at. And it's kind of cool because, like, with the new show, they're actually like showing you that it's like just outside of Portland, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of weird, like, to all of a sudden realize now, like, geographically where that house is supposed to be. Right off the coast there, and it's cool because I always, for some reason, envisioned it being like South California or something, like southern, like not really northern, and it just struck me as being weird. Just a little rant off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's real accurate to the original films or what. I don't know. But
yeah, Bates Motel.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about the this Friday the 13th TV series that they're supposedly going to be doing on CW, possibly, or bringing to TV? I mean, do you think that that's going to be a pile of shit, or do you think that'll be worth seeing?
I don't know, man. I mean, the first time they tried to do a Friday the 13th television series, it devolved into this fucking show about cursed antiques, which was actually kind of good. It wasn't that bad. I don't know if you used to watch it, but I used to watch it a hell of a lot when I was a little bit. I remember the one about the tattoo needles that the tattoos went out and killed people, killed the owners, and then all the ones about the dolls and shit and. Roby, oh my God, Roby. But that was originally going to be, Jason was going to be in that, and it was going to be I don't know. I think it could be cool. I think it, I'm sure they may have a young Jason They may kind of make it into CW bullshit.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
gonna see. Are we gonna see like a hipster Jason with like a little trim beard and those little tight jeans and
well, I think
oh
we were talking about this before, that everybody's got their horror television show. They've got Jason doing a television show. They've got the new Jamie Lee Curtis from the creators of American Horror Story, The Walking Dead, obviously. So there's shit, and the Evil Dead on Stars. So there's a lot of horror television going on.
what's this Jamie Lee Curtis thing you're talking about? This show. What's the gist of that? Is that like a reality show or is it a
No, 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 no.
is it
It's an
a
actual. It's like a horror. It's like, I think it's called like Scream Queens.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that it was like a reality show or something. I mean, I'm not in the
No.
know in any way with that, but oh, okay. So, well, what's the gist of that? Is it's about a bunch of people that were former scream queens that are like being killed or something, or what?
No, it's like I think it's a horror comedy series. Yeah, it is called Scream Queens.
Oh, so it's like that's just kind of like the setup for the jokes, the canned laugh tracks and shit. Is that these were
I don't know. I think it could be a serious, funny horror thing, like funny in the sense that, like, Scream is humorous. I don't know. I think they're trying to do something
well,
on the
I'm kind of
edge.
envisioning. I mean, is it something like Two and a Half Men, where it's like
No,
former.
it's not a sitcom.
Yeah, that's what I was envisioning, like a
I think it's
comedy.
going to
So,
be a series. Yeah,
hmm.
and stars Emma Roberts and Jamie Lee Curtis.
So Emma Roberts is a
Yeah,
scream queen. Apparently,
yeah.
they don't have what's that? Tiffany Shepis.
Oh no, Tiffy Shep. No, our good friend Tiffany Shepis. You mean that Tiffany Shepis?
Oh
Or
yeah, or what's it? Sorry, I just got a message from Joseph. I just was checking that real quick. He says hey again.
okay, we'll say hey back.
Yeah,
What
well,
up? You know,
Tiffany. I'm trying to
Tracy
think of Debbie Rochelle.
Debbie Rochon. Debbie Rochon.
Yeah, you can't kill Debbie Rochelle, man. You can't hurt her. She's like the Terminator. She's impervious.
Oh man, Debbie Rochon has done so many movies, so many little indie movies. She got hit on by Warren Beatty and got to talk about it on Howard Stern. You know,
Yes.
all that shit. Uh, all that stuff. This has devolved into like a horror show. We were gonna we were gonna talk about manly Steve McQueen films. No, I derailed it to talk about Halloween.
Yeah,
But
actually, we can. But well, that's a good thing about Pulsing Cinema. We're all over the place. We
I
can talk
know,
about all.
and that's what I expect, because with Steve McQueen, we were gonna all talk about it because we were getting all excited. I'm getting excited about that new Steve McQueen biopic. That's something that's interesting.
Yes.
Jeremy Renner or
So, what do you
someone.
think? Well, I don't know. I mean, you mentioned Jeremy Renner. I mean, is that a joke, or do you think like who would you have in
That's
mind?
that's what I thought was the runner, the running guy in the running, as far as I know.
Really? What's he have in common with Steve McQueen?
I don't know. He has kind of a Steve McQueenish look. I don't know.
No,
Pretty good.
no.
Yeah.
Well, anyone but Channing Tatum.
Mm.
No, Jeremy Renner. No, I mean I don't. Daniel Craig actually, at a time, he's a little too long in the tooth at this point to play that,
Yeah.
but like he would have been perfect, like around the time Layer Cake was out,
Yeah.
like 10 or so years ago. But
Man, I think The Getaway is such a great film. Peckinpah and Ally McGraw and Steve McQueen.
well, I know Robert Evans would tell you that's his favorite Steve McQueen film.
Exactly. Yeah.
Former, yeah, it's the backstory to that. Steve McQueen was actually on location with Ally McGraw, who was married to Robert Evans, the famous Hollywood producer. And while they were shooting the film, she and McQueen were having a little indiscretions. So
Yeah. Well, according to Robert Evans in his autobiographies, like, he let him do it. He pushed Ally McGraw to Steve McQueen. It's his fault, blah, blah, blah.
well,
There's lots of he said, she said stuff, and I don't
Well,
know
that's kind
who
of
the fuck to believe.
well, and that very well could be true in all fairness, but I would also suspect someone like Robert Evans to say that because it kind of takes the sting out of like having the wife cheating on him. If he kind of like says, "Oh well, I understand. I'm sure I pushed her," because it makes it like he's kind of the guy that was the uh, the perpetrator of that particular issue that occurred.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the final movie that came out though was I mean, the Getaway is such a great film. I don't know. What's your favorite Steve McQueen film?
Okay, there's like three that come to mind immediately, which is Thomas Crown Affair
Uh,
and The Getaway. And see, I saw that after I saw the Baldwin Basinger remake in '94, and
well,
Papillon.
the Getaway remake is just a lot of TNA, and it has Alec Baldwin, who's the greatest actor in the world. I mean, that's the only two things going for it. And fucking Michael Madsen, what the fuck is
James
this?
Woods.
What?
James Woods.
Okay, all right, okay,
That- but yeah,
David Forrest, John Deere.
they kind of gave it a little bit of a Stanley Kubrick The Killing vibe in the remake.
That was
A little-
okay.
Well, I mean at the beginning, like with the
It wasn't cool.
yeah, but it didn't have the style of Stanley Kubrick, but it was
Yeah,
like
it's like if Stanley
similar.
Kubrick had made like shitty movies. That was like if like say like Stanley Kubrick, but it's like a piece of shit, and that was The Getaway. But it's not a piece of shit. No, no, no. I mean, it's just like a 1990s movie. Um,
Yeah, let me. I just got to type one line.
okay, just gotta type one line.
Yes.
What
I
is
uh,
it
I,
here?
I apologize, but I'm getting
No, no.
messaged. So
Yeah, no problem. Man, fucking Steve McQueen. Did you see?
maybe would you like to invite Joe in? He was. If you want to send him a link, I'm sure he'll pop in here. We'll just let him know what we're talking about. He's a big cinephile.
I think it's the link. I think he already has the link. So, but let me go ahead and do that. Actually,
Yeah, and I'll talk about Steve McQueen a little bit in those. I think Roger Donaldson was the director of the remake, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
Roger Donaldson. Yeah.
But McQueen's films, we got The Blob, Magnificent Seven, Nevada Smith,
The
Tom
Blob.
Horn. Yeah, I'm not a huge Western fan. If it's like more of like the spaghetti westerns or stuff like Eastwood has done, I like, but I don't really like the traditional. Like High Noon was good with Gary Cooper,
Oh
but
yeah.
Magnificent Seven was great, and that was a remake of Seven Samurai, right?
Yeah.
In a way.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, and Papillon, that was great. Dustin
Papillon.
Hoffman.
It's a Papillon.
Yes. Now, what would you say Steve McQueen's best acting job was? His top, top three movies.
Hmm. That's difficult to say, because I mean, Steve McQueen was just one of those guys who was not really acting as much as just behaving. He wasn't doing this great acting job. He was just there. In the moment, it was just there. I love The Getaway. I think but that goes with my love of Sam Peckinpah.
I think
Uh,
that I agree with you for the most part with McQueen's portrayals of these characters in these films, but he really did good acting roles in some of those where I think he actually really acted. He wasn't, McQueen's gift that he had was he's an interesting guy to watch,
oh yeah,
and he excised a lot of lines of dialogue out of these scripts in these films.
I know. He was
He was
very
just like,
charismatic.
yeah,
And
and I think go ahead,
no, I just wanted to mention two films I think you were kind of leaving out.
Great Escape.
I think Bullet.
Oh yeah, of course, yes.
Bullet is a hell of a movie, and you just talk about just iconic stuff. And the Thomas Crown Affair, Norm Jewison. Not one of his high efforts, but I still love it.
Well, actually, I mentioned Thomas Crown Affair.
Oh, you
That was
did?
like,
Okay.
yeah, at the
I
beginning.
probably just blacked that out.
Yeah,
Uh,
Thomas Crown Affair is probably because you asked me my favorite Steve McQueen film, and that's the one that I was giving was that or like The Getaway. But
Yeah.
yeah, Bullet for sure was great. Bullet's kind of it's a great film, but we've seen a lot of like modern kind of crime dramas kind of take that sort of edgy cop thing, and it's kind of gotten a bit dated in a way, but it's still good. Steve McQueen makes it worth watching. I think it
Yeah.
holds up better than like I don't know, it's like Dirty Harry. You can watch that first Dirty Harry film and still like live in the moment of that time period that it takes place while you're watching the film.
Yeah. Yeah. Who wrote the screenplay for the first Dirty Harry? Who was that?
Was that John Milius or
Yeah,
whatever?
John
Yeah.
Milius. Yeah, yeah. I was in my head. I was thinking Walter Hill and John Milius, and they got those two strung up.
And
That's an
and
interesting documentary, Milius. Did you see that one?
yeah, I was about to bring that up. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Milius. Man, that guy, he's a character. That documentary is like watching a movie in and of itself of this strange, eccentric, sort of like semi-temperamental sort of character who's a real person. And like,
exactly. It took him many years to make that, and I didn't know that Milius had so many health issues. In the past few years, I just thought he'd kind of disappeared. I didn't know he had a stroke and couldn't talk and had to relearn how to talk. That really struck me. I have relatives who just went through the same things. It was very, very touching.
hmm. Yeah, the documentary actually ended where it seemed that at that point, at least, he wasn't really back to being Milius, that the guy, this character that they show throughout the course of this documentary. But it's good to see that he's up and functioning, at least at the time of this documentary. I forget what year it was made, but I think he was working on a screenplay again, also.
Yeah. Yep.
But that was good. And then there was a documentary I saw with the I think I'd mentioned this before with the poster artist Drew. I always
Yeah.
forget his last name.
Yeah. Drew
Yeah,
Struzan or whatever, Streisand, whatever.
yeah, and
Yeah, that guy was cool. Yeah,
so
his posters. He had the like Guinness Book of World Records stuff with the posters for the Star Wars prequels. Their posters were seen by the most people in the world and the planet or whatever. The episode 1, 2, and 3 posters. He did them all.
yeah, and he's such a very reserved sort of guy, and very family man, very kind of not really like out there extravagant and stuff. So it was kind of interesting to see his home life, and he married the wife at a younger age, and kind of like they went through a lot of stuff together with him kind of getting his name out there, and it was kind of cool to see all that.
Yeah, and it's funny how as kids, he would put them into practice of being models. Like, I think it was one of his neighbors or kids. He had him put on the big, parka thing and the big coat, and for the pose for the Thing cover art, and all this the little inside baseball stuff. I don't know if that's in the documentary. I've read about that. I haven't seen that documentary. I need to see that. But interesting. He's an interesting character.
I'll tell you on a different topic. I've been thinking a lot about Brian De Palma lately, and I'm a big fan of his Blowout, Dress to Kill, and Body Double, especially. It's a favorite of mine. Probably top 5 favorite films, top 10 definitely.
Really?
And I saw, is it Passions or Passion? The
Passion.
one, yeah.
Passion.
And that was it's very artistic the way it's done, as you would expect from De Palma, but it's a very interesting sort of like erotic thriller that he has been known to do, involving the 2 female leads, and there's like some backstabbing going on and leading to some very nefarious activity. And so it's a pretty cool film to watch. It's not one of his best ones, but he just seems like he's kind of dropped out lately of doing a lot of these films that we're used to seeing, like these commercial films even showing up at the theaters.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Passion didn't get much of a theatrical release, and there was one. There was one important showing at a New York Film Festival that there was this big fuck up, and they couldn't play the movie. They had to show from a DVD, and that was pissed them off.
Oh yeah, I would imagine.
It was this whole digital thing where they couldn't do it, and but I haven't seen that, and I haven't seen he did the Black Dahlia. Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I did.
Really, was it any good? No, I haven't. I've been remiss. I need to bone up on my new the modern Brian De Palma. The last Brian De Palma movie, new Brian De Palma movie I saw was Femme Fatale, the Antonio Banderas, Rebecca Romaine Stamos film.
Yeah, and see, I missed that film. I still to this day haven't seen that.
Yeah. No,
Is
that
that what?
that one is a real stylish movie.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to. De Palma's one of those guys that pretty much for the most part, kind of like David Lynch, I'll see anything they do because I really am intrigued by them as a filmmaker and what vision they have to show for their films. I really enjoy about anything they put out, even if it's something I wouldn't necessarily want to go back and rewatch sometimes. I still enjoy watching like a film of theirs. And I'm trying to think of something like with David Lynch. I mean, I like the Eraserhead. I know you're a huge fan of Eraserhead, but
Yeah.
it's not something. It's such a it's a tough movie to. It's a great film, but it's a tough
I
film
agree.
for me to go back and watch.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Wild at Heart, that's something I like to go back and watch every once in a while. That's just a crazy movie.
Yeah, Bobby Peru and William Dafoe. William
Yeah,
Dafoe playing him, and
Perdita Duranga.
yeah, there's just so many crazy characters. Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway. You did
Yeah,
a whole. I saw your you did an earlier Pulsing Cinema on Lost Highway, and pointing out the Laserdisc release. I was watching that a couple of nights back.
yeah. It was a good Laserdisc release. That's a good movie. It was a weird kind of mid-90s film. Um,
Had a lot of
but
film noir sort of aspects to it, which I'm a huge fan of that genre. So it was really neat seeing that kind of gritty story going on. And Bill Pullman was great in it. You know, he's at the time when that came out, Bill Pullman was doing a lot of films where he was kind of like he had been the president of the U.S. in Independence Day, and he was starring in like rom-coms, like I think it was the Sandra Bullock While You Were Sleeping, that film, and it was kind of
yeah,
cool to see him being kind of a gritty, sort of like a darker sort of character. And Robert Loggia was great in that. Patricia Arquette
it was a crazy movie. Oh my God, and Patricia Arquette. Oh my God. Oh
and
my God.
Robert Blake, the mystery man, Robert Blake.
Yes. Oh my God, probably one of his last roles before his problems.
Yes,
Yes.
he
Wow.
interesting character in that film. Mulholland Drive was a. I need to go back and watch that also. Wasn't that originally intended to be like a TV series, kind of like Twin Peaks, and it fell through, so he had to kind of recut everything to make some sort of film out of it and then add to it.
Yeah, it was the pilot for a TV movie. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But that was great. Lynch has a good quality. Well, he's got many of them, but one of what that I'm discussing here is he's got a real talent for like casting these women that are they're very mysterious and like seductive, and they have like these dark qualities in the way that he directs them, and it's really intriguing watching a lot of the actresses in his films that he does. I mean, like Laura Herring and Naomi Watts in Mulholland Drive, they did an excellent job in that.
Yeah, he has a very talent. I mean, I'm really excited about the new Twin Peaks series, limited series. I mean, I hope that comes together. I hope there's not any delays in that. Uh,
Is Mark Frost going to be involved in that
yeah,
also?
yeah, he's
Okay.
writing with Lynch, but I mean, there's only some dispute, something I don't know what's going on,
Hmm.
but I hope it gets resolved.
Now is the I'm trying to think of the character actor's name. Is he still alive? The guy that played the man from another place, little guy,
Uh,
Michael
yeah,
Michael Anderson or something like that's his name.
yeah, yeah. In fact, he just did a documentary, and he directed like a documentary which David Lynch was in. I don't know, going to some foreign country or something. I've forgotten.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
I just saw something recently that it might have been Walking Dead, actually, like an episode or the one from the week before. Jennifer Lynch, his daughter, directed it. the
Oh,
director
really?
of Boxing Helena. Yeah.
Yeah, she's had a bit of a film career. She went on. The last movie I remember her doing was Surveillance, something with Bill Pullman.
Yeah. Was that any good? I never saw that.
I never saw that either. I'm a non-watcher. But yeah, and I've never seen Boxing Helena either. I don't know.
Now I got a question for you. Have you seen Sharky's Machine, the Burt Reynolds film?
Yes,
Is
man,
that
that is. Oh my God. Um, who is in that? Henry Silva is the fucking. Ah! Ah! He shoots. You ever seen it?
It was shot in my hometown when I was living there in Atlanta, but I was like really young, and for some reason I like just never got around to seeing Sharky's Machine.
Oh my
And
God.
I got talking about it to some friends, and they'd mentioned that I needed to see that. And then is it Rachel Ward that's in that?
Street life. Da, da. Oh my God, Street Life. I still hang around. Oh my God, fucking Burt Reynolds. Fucking Burt when he was Burt. When men were men. When fucking
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds was fucking Burt. When fucking they would shoot shit. And fucking Rachel Ward is a hooker with a heart of gold. Fucking Charles Durning. Fucking Bernie Casey. Fucking Henry Silva is a crazy fucking motherfucking drug dealer who screams at the top of his lungs as he shoots the fucking brains out of people. Fucking motherfucking Sharky's Machine. My God. You've brought up a movie.
Well, I need to see Sharky's Machine.
It's coming out on Blu-ray actually. I think when is it scheduled for Blu-ray? When is Sharky? It's coming soon actually. Now that you mention it.
Well,
I mean,
I did go on one of the video channels, a popular video channel here. I don't know if you are wanting to name that. Are we allowed to disclose that?
what I mean, Sharky's Machine is on YouTube somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw the
Yeah.
the intro, the big like where they're panning in at the beginning of it with Street Life playing, and I saw that.
That's yeah.
I saw that, and then
Sorry.
I remember when I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is the big stunt scene where the guy falls from the top of I forget what building that is in Atlanta, but they had the guy fall from like one of the upper floors and did a stunt where Burt Reynolds or somebody, one of the characters, like is fighting the guy, I guess, and the guy takes a fall from the building, and it's like a big stunt, one of a big famous stunt from cinema.
Yeah, that was Dara Robinson. That's at the end of the movie. That's the climax when the Henry Silva dude, spoiler, Henry Silva plays this crazy drug dealer, and they track him down at the end of the movie. And fucking Burt Reynolds blows him out of the fucking tower. And yeah, Dara Robinson was a cool actor. He was he did a lot of stunts for Burt Reynolds, and he died doing a stunt for that movie Million Dollar Mystery. His motorcycle skidded off a cliff. It was very sad.
Oh.
He fell. Yeah. But yeah, he did that. He that was his specialty. He did high falls. He did and in that movie Stick. There's a whole documentary about him. Dara Robinson. What is it? The Amazing Stuntman or whatever. It's on YouTube as well. That's a real good one.
I saw one about him. Now that you mentioned that, when you said Dara Robinson, that rang a bell with me. I've seen
Well,
that.
I think we watched it together. We watched clips, but now the full version is on YouTube.
Oh, I gotta go back and watch that.
Yeah. No, it's really good. No, man, Dar, and then that helicopter shot at the beginning, with fucking Burt. Just I don't know why Burt is like walking down the train tracks. There's no real fucking reason why, He could've just, he does this big diversion, he's walking in street life, but it's like, why the fuck is he walking down the street track? Why does he just like park his car in the parking garage? Because he ends in the parking garage. Doesn't make a sense.
He's a street warrior.
The fucking man's man. He was a guerrilla street warrior and then, oh man, I could talk for hours about fucking Sharky's Machine. That's a fucking.
Oh, so you love this film?
Oh, I do. Yeah, man. It's it's great. There's that scene with Bernie Casey where he talks about how he was like he was in a situation where this guy was going to shoot him, but then he disappeared. He turned into nothing, and he it's crazy.
Yeah.
Bernie Casey, man, and Rachel Ward. There's not a lot of sex in the movie. It's very, high class, Burt Reynolds action bullshit, where he's the fucking machismo, whatever.
So did this come out before she did Against All Odds?
Yeah, because this is 1981. 84, so yeah.
Okay. And Against All Odds was actually a pretty decent film. It was kind of a throwback film noir sort of feel to it.
Yeah, like out in the past, yeah.
Yeah, well, they based it like I guess like a pseudo remake of that, the Robert Mitchum film, based on Build My Gallows High, that novel.
Yeah. Taylor Hackford directed that, famous.
No Way Out.
Yeah.
No, I recently actually went to Cozumel, where they shot some of the scenes in that, and it's really cool to see. Like, it's totally different. Some of the scenes when Jeff Bridges first gets down there and he's looking for Rachel Ward's character, and he's out on the beach and they got all the boats and the bars and stuff there, and I went there about 6 months ago. It was really wild, just seeing how built up the place is now.
Yeah, fucking Against All Odds.
Yeah.
Rachel Ward.
Phil Collins, take a look at me now.
Uh-oh. What's going on here? Oh shit, that's from Wyatt Sargasso Sea. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And fucking Against All Odds, fucking Jeff Bridges. And fucking subtitles.
Well, James Woods, I see James Woods, he's in that also. James Woods, he was in a movie I put on my queue on Netflix I had never seen, but it's him and Brian Dennehy, a movie called Bestseller. I haven't seen that.
Oh, man, that's good. Written by Larry Cohen. Oh, that's a good movie. My dad took me to see that in the theaters when it came out.
I think it was 87.
Yeah. James Woods plays this hitman, this contract killer, and he's telling this story to Brian Dennehy. It's real cool. It's a lot of action. Yeah, it's a good one.
Woods has always been reliable as being a bit of a. I think he would refer to himself as such too, but like a slimeball sort of. He always plays the henchman or the baddie.
What, James Woods?
Yeah.
He was good in. Have you ever seen Fast Walking?
No.
He was good in that. Yeah, I have a video on that. Cop. Have you ever seen Cop, where he plays? That's an 80s film.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
And then there's a movie from talk about a slime ball. There's another movie, Another Day in Paradise, from the late 90s, where he plays a super sleazeball. That's super sleazy, made by the super sleazy director Larry Clark of Kid. So I don't know if he's super sleazy, but he's rather explicit. He's a deviant.
Wasn't he really freaked out at one time because he was dating Sean Young and this was like I don't know, late 80s or something, and
I would be freaked out if I was dating Sean Young. I think anybody should be freaked out if they're near Sean Young. They need to be freaked out.
Well, I thought that was so hilarious because I had heard or read about something with James Woods, I think he had to get a restraining order or something, and it was wow, I mean, to really freak out James Woods, that's quite a feat that she accomplished.
Wasn't she in The Boost? Yeah, she was. She was in The Boost. Remember that James Woods movie called The Boost? It was about this businessman who gets hooked on the cocaine, and he drags his wife down into it, and he almost kills it. And Sean Young was the wife. The Boost.
I'm going to say I've seen that, but it's been so long ago, it'd be like watching a new movie if I saw it again.
My dad used to love James Woods. It was like any James Woods movie we got to watch, Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what he's really been in. He had wasn't he in Ghosts of Mississippi about Medgar Evers? He was great in that.
Yeah, he's done all kinds of weird shit, I mean, he's in here, he's in there. My dad used to love fucking James Woods. Goldie Hawn, he had something for Goldie Hawn. He had carrying a torch for Goldie Hawn.
Oh, let's not forget Videodrome. David Cronenberg.
Oh my God, man! Yeah,
One of your favorites, all right?
it is one of my favorites. I like Scanners more than Videodrome, to be honest. But Videodrome was a hell of a movie.
Patrick McGowan.
I love Scanners. What have you watched Scanners? What do you think of it, if you have?
I haven't recently, but from what I remember, it was one of those things like there were a lot of Cronenberg films. Like I saw them when I was younger, and I didn't really fully appreciate them. But I went back and revisited some of them, and I saw like The Brood for the first time, and I thought that was a cool little film. And I've always loved Shivers. They Came From Within. His first film.
Yeah.
And, that it's kind of like it had like a feel of a zombie film, but they weren't zombies. They were like just these deviant people that had parasites, and it was all messed up. Yeah, that was great, and I watched that recently actually. No, Connor's
oh my God, Connor.
Hello.
Uh-oh. The British, they're invaded. They invaded us.
And of course, like The Fly, and Cronenberg's like turned out some interesting stuff lately, like going back to like Existence and Crash.
Yeah, but that's been a while, man. That's like 15 years ago. The stuff he's been doing recently is Cosmopolis and the Freud movie, Freud Young movie, and Maps to the Stars. I thought the Freud Young movie was good. It was kind of deviant.
But now, what was that? I'm not familiar with that.
And Eastern Promises,
yeah,
History of Violence. What was that Freud movie? A Dangerous Method.
Now, Maps to the Stars, you mentioned, is that good? Have you seen that? I know, like, John Cusack.
I've not seen it.
I usually see, like, all of John Cusack's films also. I always thought he was really interesting to watch in his roles.
He's in a new movie, Brian Williams biopic called Love and Mercy. He plays the old Brian Williams, and the young Brian Williams is played by Paul Dano. From There Will Be Blood. That guy, that kid.
Now, Brian Williams, remind me who that is.
The one of the lead creative force behind the Beach Boys.
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson. Did I say Brian Williams?
Yeah, that's why I was like, what?
Maybe it's because I'm tired.
Wait a minute. Wait. This is right. This is like right up my alley, or whatever you want to call it.
Brian Wilson?
Yeah, because I love Brian Wilson, his story and the whole thing with all of his drama he went through. Cusack's playing Brian Williams. God, you got me doing it now. Brian Wilson. Cusack's playing Brian Wilson.
But it's weird because Paul Dano and Cusack, they don't really look alike. So it's kind of this weird juxtaposition. I don't know. I think it could work as a film, but it's going to be interesting. Apparently, it's really good. It premiered here at South by Southwest and got some good reviews.
What's it called?
It's called Love and Mercy.
Okay.
The trailer is really good. In the trailer, that dude Paul Dano looks like Brian Wilson. It's scary. And then John Cusack doesn't really look like Brian Wilson.
Well, so he's playing the older Brian Wilson, but I mean, is that the Brian Wilson that was all like bloated out from the drugs and the food and all that, or is he?
Well, it's the Brian Wilson from the late '80s who was under the influence of Landy.
Dr. Eugene Landy, yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Landy, and he's all. So it's when he meets his wife and kind of gets off under from Landy's influence, and that stuff. So I don't know. It could be an interesting film.
I would love to see that. I'm glad you mentioned that to me, because I mean, like literally, like the first thing I'm going to do when we end the podcast is our first opportunity I get. I'm going to watch that trailer.
Oh yeah, man, the film was delayed by over a year. I don't know why they may have had some problems with it or something, but yeah, it's coming out.
Yeah, how old's Brian Wilson now?
He's got to be in his 70s, right? Old.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he lost his brother Carl and of course Dennis back in the 70s, but Carl I don't know, what was that, like within the last 10 years Carl passed away, so I mean, the guy out of the Wilson brothers that you thought would not make it would be, yeah.
But he kept it together, you know. He's going.
Yeah, that Dr. Landy kept it rolling.
So I don't know. Does Connor have anything he wants to talk about, or Mike and Connor? I don't know. I just want to add. Just want to include Mr. C. No, I guess not. I guess everybody's lagging. I think that's it. I think we're all lagging. I'm lagging as well. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well, yeah, we can pick it up. Pick up the next Pulsing Cinema. We're gonna do a little movie watching and jump back on. And I got some. You've left me with some titles I need to watch. Sharky's
I
Machine.
think so. Oh man, Sharky's Machine and Love and Mercy coming up. Yeah, I'm definitely kind of out of it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go fall unconscious and go to sleep.
All right,
but
dude.
yeah, but indeed, excellent show. The second live show. I'm excited. I don't know. See you guys
All right.
later.